Hey folks, this is video number 8 for the 3D Experience CATIA generative shape design application. This particular video goes into the playlist that's devoted to the Surface tab. I also have one that is made for the wireframe tab. There's about 59 videos in it, but this one goes in the Surface tab. Uh, You notice that I'm spending quite a bit of time on this multi-section surface icon, and part of the reason is that this is one of the more complicated uh, functionalities that is available in generative shape design. Uh, to match that, you have the blend option and also the sweep option. But this is multi-section surface, and some software call it loft, as you know. There's so many options there that makes it a bit complicated to make. That's why I'm spending time on doing small pieces, small chunks, one at a time. I also feel that the people who use these functionalities quite often are CAD designers that generate complicated surfaces and things like that. And of course, I don't consider myself as a CAD surface designer, and therefore I feel that every time I struggle with one of these is like pulling a tooth. But anyway, let me start with, I have already done videos for and two open profiles and two closed profiles. So this one is three open profiles. And you might say, well, isn't that the same? Yes, but there are little things that one has to be very careful, otherwise things don't work. Okay, so let's move on. Uh, in the generative shape design, if you select the surface tab, a pull-up menu allows you to do multi-section surfaces. And upon selecting that icon, you're going to get a dialog box like that. And the biggest problem is right here, advanced options. And there's a lot hidden there. So if you expand the advanced option, you see all these things that you can select. And right now we are doing very simple problems. Okay. Uh, I'm doing three profiles, open profiles, and these are the profiles that I'm going to be taking. So they're on planes which are 40 millimeters apart. And when you look at this, it's actually square. I'll give you the dimension in a second. This is a triangle, isosceles, well, actually, equilateral triangle. All three sides are the same. And this is the last section, which is actually a hexagon, but I've deleted the bottom two portions, so section 1, 2, and 3, and we want to put a surface through these or loft it. The dimensions are given here, and I've made sure that you realize that this is the global origin 0, 0, 0, because we're going to be making these things, but just to let you know how they're situated with respect to each other. So if we don't do anything, and the closing points match or reasonable, and the direction of the essentially sweep along those sections match, you get something like that. What I want to do is add couplings here so that there are additional things that are created. Okay. Now you'll notice this thing when I do an example. Uh, the three sections, you have to select 3 points, not 2 points. So if you want to create coupling, you have to create 3 points, one on each section, how they're coupled, and the order must be the same. Point 1 on section 1, point 2 on section 2, and point 3 on section 3. If you try it, a mishmash of these, you're going to get an error message. For example, if you take the coupling, first coupling to be on the third section, it's going to say that no, I'm not going to do that. So the order must be the same. Uh, these are good references, except that they were done 3-4 years ago. I think the bottom one was even longer. But anyway, the interface has changed, and so it's kind of, I'm using R2026. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Uh, I'm going to create 3 planes. Of course, I can use this one over here. That is true. So yeah, why not? I do that. So I'll use this plane. On that plane, I will sketch. This is going to be my section 1, essentially. A centered, we'll make a centered rectangle, square. I'm going to dimension these things. So this is going to be 20. All right. And this is going to be 20, 20. Okay. And but except that I will delete this bottom piece. This bottom piece, this bottom edge, I'm going to delete, so it becomes an open profile. So exit, and there we are. Let me change the color on this. I don't know what did I have here. I had okay, purple. So let me change the color. Properties. Make this thing purple, and I'm going to change the size. So there we are. Now I'm going to create a plane 40 millimeters away from it. So on the wireframe, here's a plane, offset from that plane, 40 millimeters. There we are. I'm going to draw my triangle on that. So on that plane, I will sketch my quadrilateral triangle, and here's how I'm going to do that. Let's do, for example, I can do a profile starting at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to delete that bottom edge, no problem. So let's dimension these things. Dimension, this is going to be 20. Okay, and this is going to be also 20. All right, and this is also going to be 20. Quadrilateral. Okay, good. Except that I don't want this bottom edge. I'm going to delete it to become open section. And I'm going to change the color of that so that it becomes, so right click properties. I'm going to change that to green and change the line size like so. Let's do another plane 40 millimeters away from this thing. Yep. And on it, I will draw a hexagon. I will draw the hexagon, but here's how I'm going to make it look like. So this is this. See that that edge is. I want it to be perpendicular to that horizontal axis. Okay, let me dimension these. I'm going to dimension this thing to be 20. Actually, yeah, that's 20. Is it 20 or? Oh, actually, I want 10. Sorry, 10. Good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this bottom edge and that bottom edge. So exit. Here is my third sketch. Let me change the color of that. I think it was orange. Okay, so properties, change the color to orange, change the line size to this. Okay, so this is what we got. What you see there is what you see there. And the order I did is section 1, section 2, and section 3. Good. Now, let's do the following. We're going to go to the surface tab. Here's the multi-section surface. You click on it and pick them in the order that you want. This is section 1, this is section 2, and this is section 3 without introducing any coupling, and preview and close. So what you see there, this thing that you see there is that thing. And I have not used any coupling, and the default, let me double click on this thing. The default, if you expand the advanced option, the default is ratio. So it does the ratio construction. And what that means is that it starts at one end, for example, find one of these ends and uh, uh, what do you call measures along that length, for example, 1% of the length, 2% of length, 3%, and it goes by the same percentage along these two other sections, connect them with a straight line or some kind of a curve, and then fits a surface through them. Okay? Now that's what the ratio means. So let me hide some of the stuff. First of all, I don't need these planes. Let me hide them. I don't need these planes. Hide this and hide that. So all these planes are gone. And these axes I don't want. So let me go to the sketch. Hide the absolute axis. Hide the absolute axis. And hide the absolute axis. Okay. So what you see, as I said, is the default surface that's constructed, and it's this. Good. Now, yeah. Now, by the way, let me double click on this. Look at something else. Notice that automatically it created their closing points. For example, let me see now. If you look at, let me move this thing out of the way. Move these things out of the way. It looks like the closing points are not the closing point, but the first point. I didn't mean closing point. Is here. One. See, 1, 2, 3, and the endpoints are on the back, on the other side, and the direction of these are correct. If I flip one of these direction, it's going to run into problem. Let me show you. I mean, in this case, it'll do it for you, but it's really not meaningful. Let me put these so the directions are all counterclockwise, as it is now. Now, what we want to do is we want to create some couplings. So, here's how it's going to happen. Advanced options, okay? Advanced options. Before I do that, let me quickly save in case things don't work out. I want to be able to go back where I took off before I do the coupling. Okay, good. Double click. Advanced options. Now, the line that deals with coupling is right here. Okay, this stuff is coupling. This is fine. I don't want it. You put the cursor there, and it's ready to go. Okay, we move these things out of the way. All right. Suppose I want to do a coupling between that vertex and this vertex and some other vertex here. Okay, so got to be careful here. If you start coupling, so let's try it. First point right there. See that point kind of hard to see, but I put the cursor, for example, at this corner point. This is section 1. This corner point. This turns red. One corner point has been selected, and I want to couple that to this corner point. See, these things get in your way. We move these together. This corner point. And let's say that I want to bring that to that location here, the last one, third one. Okay, so notice that you have to pick 3 things because there are 3 sections here. If you had only 2 sections, that would be good enough. But 3 sections, you select this corner point. Notice that the green curve has been created going from my choices, first point, second point, third point. And notice that over here, it says one element has been created. So if you expand this arrow, see arrow, click on it, it says 3 things have been selected. If this was 2, you forgot to do this last one, it's not going to work. It's going to come back and complain. If you have 2 profiles, that would be 2 because you're going to pick only 2. Now, let's do another one. Let's do another one. I don't have to add here. You can add another line. You don't have to. It's going to do it automatically for you. Pulling the teeth. That's what I mean. Move these things out of the way. Okay, suppose I want to bring this point. If I brought it to the point here, it's gonna complain. It's not going to do it. But I want to create a point halfway between, or some point on this curve. So my first point is right there. There's no problem. Okay, pulling a tooth. Now, here, I need a point on this line, on this edge. So what I do, I put the cursor here, right click, insert wireframe, create a point. If you had already created a point on that edge, would be no problem. But I didn't create it. I can do it on the fly. Create a point, and that's going to be on a curve, on a curve. That's the easiest way of doing it. Select the curve, select where you want it to be. For example, I'll use this point here, which is uh, about 8 millimeter away from one end. So that's okay. Just want to show you the process right there. The point, say okay. So notice that it took that first point that I picked, connected it to that point that I created on the fly. And the third one, I need the third one. The third one is going to be on the third section. So suppose I want to bring this thing and take it to that location. This location, right there. See that? Right there. Obviously, if you pick something that doesn't give you a meaningful result, it's not going to do it. It's going to come back, I distorted, can't do it, etc. Now, I want to say preview. The problem is that because of the screen resolution, I cannot reach that preview at the bottom. So what I do, I collapse this advanced option, and then I say preview. Right there. And then OK. There. Pulling a tooth. Let's do another one. We go double click on this. Okay. Suppose I want to create a point here, add it to another point here, add it to another point there. Let's do that. So we go advanced option. We are doing not the spine. We are doing coupling. Let's see, right there. Now, I can, right now I can click on this so that it adds another line at the end of the table. Okay. Now, I want to create a point exactly somewhere on this curve. So I don't have it. So right click, wireframe, create create a point on this curve, somewhere say there, and then say OK. All right. Now I need to select my second point over here. So once again, insert wireframe, create a point on this curve, put it somewhere that you want, zoom in. That point right there, you can see that. See, it created a curve or a line right now. And then I want another one at this end. Okay, so once again, right click, insert wireframe, create a point on a curve, on this curve, somewhere that makes sense, for example here, and then we say OK. Notice that now it puts a curve from this point that I created to this point that I created to this point that I created. I can't reach my preview window. I collapse the advanced option and preview, and then OK. So it took that curve into consideration. It's right there. It's right there. Okay. I don't know why the color of it could be because it's on that surface. I'm not sure why the color of it doesn't look good. Let's see if we can change this color here. Cancel. Oh, let me double click, make sure there is actually a coupling. Yeah, it's coupling number 3. Coupling number 3 is right there. It is there. but I don't know why it's not as dark as the other ones. Yeah, I was hoping that to be able to be able to change the color. Let me hide this thing for a second. Problem is that if I hide it, the whole thing is going to go. Control Z. It's there. It's there. Yeah. As a matter of fact, let's change the transparency here, see whether we can see it. So we go to properties on the graphics. On the graphics, let's change the transparency here. Yeah, I still cannot see it. Very good. Uh, there is a reason I put that stuff there. The next video, number 9, is going to be when you have 3 closed profiles. Good luck, folks.